All right, my friends, this morning we are qualitative interviewing skills. My name is Dr. Michael Carver, professor of marketing at Central Michigan University. Let's do it. So, the last podcast was on probing questions, and you got to do that right? Like, if you're good at probing questions, you are going to go a long way in interviewing customers, whether you're in sales or market research. This podcast is not about that. Instead, this one is about the right mindset and how we approach it. And when I am doing quantitative research and I need to flip the switch and go into qualitative mindset, this is really what I need to do, is flip the switch. So let's talk about the right mindset. I'm going to start with what I think the most important part of the mindset is, and that is find what is there. Let me give you a quick explanation of what I mean. So we're in a focus group interview, whether they're over the phone, over Skype, or they're right in front of us. And we're going to ask really open-ended questions, really broad. Tell me about life as a professor at CMU. Tell me about life as a student at CMU. They can go anywhere they want to with those questions, right? And often people talk about what's important to them, right? And so we should let them go. And we should let them go if it's important to them, it's important to us, right? And we want to find out what's on their mind, not what you're looking for or what I'm looking for. And I see this all the time. We ask an open-ended question and the customer is really passionate about something. They go off in this direction. They want to talk about it. And the interviewer's like, well, that's not really on my agenda. And they cut them off and they bring them back. And you can't imagine, and they're not talking about my product. They're not talking about this little product that I'm interested in, and they bring them back to their world. And I say, no, find what is there, not what you're looking for. This is the hardest one. And you may think sometimes that they're going off in the Neverland. Let them go. 99% of the time they come back and they'll lead right into what you want to talk about. But we've got to give them some ground to do that. We've got to let them go. Okay, so that's a big one for me when we do qualitative research. And really along with that is plan B. And what I mean by that is sometimes we have, I've gone into focus groups before and the client is like, hey, we really need to know about their perception of this product feature. It's a big weakness for us and we need to fix it. And you get in there and the people are like, no, that's not a weakness. That's a major strength of your product. I'm like, what? And there's other weaknesses. And good qualitative researchers, I snap my fingers, change on a dime which way they're going, right? We're going with a plan, no doubt about it. But if we need to scrap that plan and go to plan B, again, we're trying to find what is there, not our agenda. We got to be able to do that. Now, this is a great slide, and this is a life lesson as too, and it's to play dumb like a fox, right? Foxes are very smart, but dumb like a fox means even though you're smart, you are going to ask lots and lots of questions. You're not going to come off as the know-it-all. In fact, when I go to do qualitative research, I mean, they know I'm a professor. They know I'm a PhD, so they think I'm smart. And the first thing I do, play dumb like a fox, and I'm really good at it, by the way, is to let them know that in this topic area, I know nothing at all. I'm clueless. Would you please help teach me about this topic area? And they kind of light up like, oh, you don't know anything about it? No, nothing at all. Please help me. And they love it. And it works really, really good. I'm going to give you a quick story. In the dog training, I used to be in the dog training with retriever training. And there was a guy, he wasn't very smart, to be honest with you, right? And he had access to like some of the best dog trainers in the country. And when we would get together with these people, you know what I would do? I wasn't trying to show them that I was smart. I wasn't trying to teach them what I know. These guys are professional. These are some of the best in the country. You know what I did? I listened. I couldn't wait to ask questions and get their perspective. I didn't care, if they thought I was dumb or smart. Who cares? I was there to learn. And my buddy was trying to show off how much he knew, and he didn't know much, to be honest with you. And he looked stupid doing it, right? And I couldn't believe let them teach you. It's okay to ask questions and to be the one who's learning. In fact, it's a great thing. This was the Bugs Bunny cartoon, and sometimes it helps to pretend if you're from another planet, right? So when someone says, hey, that's a good value? Well, If you're from Mars, I think this is Martian guy. The Martian would say, "What's value?" Right? And they would say, "Well, it's a really good quality. Tell me about good quality." Like, you're from another planet. I don't know what quality or value is because I'm from Bugs Bunny cartoon. All right, this is one of the most important ones too. Is that there's no doubt study after study has shown that if we're in a we're interviewing situation, that somebody kind of takes the lead and the other person follows. And if you go in coffeeed up, energetic, they're going to get kind of excited, right? Think about the teachers that you've had. When the teacher comes in and you sense they don't want to be there and you sense that they're tired, it's like, oh, what happens to you? Your energy goes the same way, right? So what I'm saying is take control of this interview, coffee up, get fired up, right? Like, right, this guy, that interview's going right in the ditch right off the beginning, right? No, fire up, get coffeeed up, don't be like this guy. Body language. So I don't mean to pick on our Mr. President, sir, but look at the body language we have here, right? The body language, I'm uninterested, I'm not excited about being here, I have to be here, let's get through this, all right? Versus this energy is, woo, I am very interested, I'm very excited. I want to tell you a quick story. The guy, his name is Troy, and he works for TechSmith, and he interviewed me about our use of Camtasia in the classroom and the flipped classroom in general. This guy was the best interviewer I have ever seen. He hung on every word. He loved everything I said. Everything I said, I was so smart, and it was so interesting. It was amazing. And you know what? Because I felt so smart, because he was so fired up, I got fired up. And the more enthusiastic he was, the more enthusiastic I was. And I talked and gave him so much D squared that it was amazing, right? Because I felt so good. And my point is, let's learn from Troy, because he might be the best interviewer I've ever seen. All right, so as we wind down this podcast, this really is all about the right mindset and how do we drive it, right? And a big part of what I want to go back to is find what is there, not what you're looking for, okay? Ask them an open-ended question and let them go where they want to go, and then use lots of probing questions. Tell me more about that. What do you mean by that? Can you give me an example of that, so that we find what is there, not what we're looking for? All right, my friends, I look forward to seeing you in the next exciting episode of Marketing 450.